As COVID cases and hospitalizations continue to drop, Wisconsin doctors are hopeful the end is near.
But what will it take to get there? And how do we mentally and physically move past the pandemic?
News 9's Chase McNamara is digging deeper into that question.
The latest numbers from the Wisconsin Department of Health and Human Services show right now the Badger State is averaging about 850 new COVID cases a day. That's about 10,000 less than we saw just last month. But the fight is not over quite yet. To turn this pandemic into an endemic, there are a number of obstacles we must overcome.
Just into the newsroom tonight.
When COVID-19 first made its way to north central Wisconsin,
confirmed in Wisconsin today,
it was the first time in decades we were faced with a virus that was determined to spread.
Today, there are 842 positive, 14 deaths.
And it wasn't long after the entire world acknowledged we were entering a pandemic.
Anytime there is an emerging infection that could potentially have a significant impact on our lives, it always attracts headlines.
After 2 years, multiple mutations, and declining numbers, the term endemic is beginning to enter the equation.
Now we're starting to talk about this being an infection that we live with rather than something we're constantly reacting to.
Decisions on how best to prevent future infections has focused heavily on vaccines and will continue to, but they only go so far. And whether you're between a booster or can't get the shot, other options are needed.
Medication like antiviral medications to stop the virus from replicating, monoclonal antibodies that help prevent severe disease among people who may need hospitalization.
But availability of these life-saving drugs are in short supply, and investments are needed.
Most of these drugs as they come out haven't completed the full traditional FDA approval process. They've been in an expedited process. So because of that, they're not being allocated in the traditional way where they come through the drug companies. Instead, the government has been allocating these drugs.
Right now, there's not enough treatment out there to kind of catch up.
Now, Aspirus Health System says they have all FDA-approved treatments available, but declaring an endemic and saying it's time to return to normal isn't so simple.
It's not over as far as mental health.
At Peaceful Solutions in Wausau, Executive Director Michelle Gleason says, in her experience, anxiety surrounding the pandemic is clear.
In the beginning of the pandemic, people were told, don't be around other people. Stay at home, don't be with others, and kind of change your lifestyle, and really instilled a lot of fear.
And the trauma that's left over, especially for children, will require listening.
We no longer need to fear this virus in the way we did when it first came out. We need to be vigilant.
Have some family discussions. What are we going to do moving forward?
Conversations that Gleason says will be happening for years to come. Now we need to understand that every person has experienced the past 2 years differently. And it's clear moving forward will be a combination of vaccines and treatment. But in order to move past the pandemic, mental health must be a part of the solution. In studio, Chase McNamara, News 9, WAOW.